Hold on.
What's the matter?
Hold on.
What's the matter? Are you recording now?
Yes.
Yeah. So you missed that whole singing?
Technical problems.
Yes. You gotta do it again.
That's okay. Okay, so anyway, so as a recap for you guys, and for those people listening at home for some reason, I was looking at, after all this stuff happened with Virginia Tech, I was looking up some different Zangas. And you know, if you go on you go to Zanga.com, it lists up all these ones that get 1,000 comments on them. I'm like, how do people do that? But this one was the number one. It's called Please Pray. It's from Tuesday, April 17th, 2007. It says, yesterday morning when I woke up, I did what I normally do. I stayed in bed until the last possible second. And this is a college student too, so you know, it's like, some of you guys are high school and you do the same exact thing. You wait till the last possible moment in life to wake up.
I did that this morning.
Yes, some of you guys do, some of you guys don't. So you stayed in bed the last possible second. I took a shower, put on some clothes, then, oh, I can't say that out loud. Then hauled my rear end out the door because I heard the bus coming. Sorry, I should have read this a little bit more intensively, but it's on the edge, so I couldn't really catch it.
Yeah,
I heard the bus coming, and I was nowhere near the bus stop. My phone was charging, and I was going to leave it to charge while I was in class. But right as I was about ready to leave my room, I had the sudden urge to grab it. My class started at 9:05 in Patton Hall. By 9:20, the sirens started. No big deal at first. I heard sirens before, but this time they went on for so long. I whispered to my friend, "Is this another freaking bomb threat?" I was so annoyed by ruining my lesson. I was so annoyed by ruining my lesson. My professor kept teaching. All of a sudden, we heard cops screaming. It was hard to make out what they were saying, but in time, it became clearer. Get down, or run, hustle. This was when I realized it wasn't just another bomb threat. Then our department head came in our room and told us we needed to stop class and move. My professor looked at him like it was a big joke. I'm serious. There was gunshots in Norris. We gathered our things and moved to the conference room. They told us not to, but the first thing we did was go to the window to see what was going on. Police cars were everywhere. Students were running to the other side of the drill field with their arms in the air. I called my dad right away to let him know the little that I knew. I told him when he saw the news, he shouldn't worry. I was safe in a room. We kept looking out the window. The police were running all over the place. Some were hiding behind trees with huge guns. At one point, a small group of students was running on the drill field. One of them ran to the cops who were outside our window, his arm extended in front of him. When he got close enough, we saw blood on his shirt. He had been shot in the arm. He was put in a car and they drove off. Looking into our hallway, we heard some of the professors were hauling a table to the lobby of Patton. We later found out it was because the people who were jumping out of the windows in Norris were running to our building because of how close we were. The table was for the girl who had hurt her back after she jumped. We looked out the window again. Stupid, I know. This time, someone said, "Is that a pool of blood?" It was. It was in front of Burris. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or not. Suddenly, a student appeared who had been shot in the leg. It was his blood. The ambulance came. He was put in a stretcher, and they drove him off. His blood stayed there and dried up. It was the blood on the sidewalk they keep showing on the news. At this point, we still thought only 2 people had died. Even after seeing the wounded people and the kids running, we still weren't sure of the severity. The news said 2 people died. 2 people. I mean, that's serious, but who knew, right? At one point, we heard a loud sound. We all just looked at each other. Looked at each other. Was that a gunshot? Someone finally asked. I mean, we all knew it was, and we all knew what we were thinking. It sounded like the gunshots from the camera phone footage. At another point, we saw a kid on the ground. The police were around him with guns, pointing at him. I thought he was a shooter. I eventually learned the kid that was on the TV was the actual shooter. He's not the... this kid on the ground was not the shooter. He wanted to take pictures for the CT. After 2 hours, the cops screamed, "We got him. You guys will be home soon." She seemed so happy. I was relieved. And 5 minutes later, all the sirens went off again. All the cops jumped in their cars and drove across the drill field toward Cassell and the tennis courts. Up to now, I didn't know what happened there. Was it a false report? In time, we were released. I got a ride from a friend. My mom called, told me the death toll was up to 22. I couldn't believe it. Who knew the number would rise by 10. It doesn't make any sense. But that's okay. Rise by 20. I don't know. They probably the wrong button. I received so many calls, IMs, even Facebook wall posts and private messages. People I haven't heard from years contacted me. I had so many numbers on my incoming call list that I've never seen before. I appreciated everyone making sure I was okay, but I really wish they stopped focusing on me and more on the people who weren't so lucky. Dr. Legonathan, I don't know how to pronounce his name, died. He was a professor at one point. I got an email from the CEE department. I started crying and just locked myself in my room. He was such a good professor, you don't understand. He was a quirky, nerdy guy, always smiling. He did this thing where he always had his hand in his pocket when he wrote on the board, so by the end of the class his pants were smeared with chalk. I remember one class when he was holding a sheet of paper. He got frustrated with it and said, "I'm tired of this sheet." The class laughed, then he laughed when he realized what it sounded like. I wish I had thanked him. And so he said, I wish I had thanked him. I was one day off from being in Norris. If it happened on Tuesday instead of Monday, I would have been in Norris taking a test. I'm sure the shooting happened in my classroom on the second floor. It was a popular one for classes. I keep wondering what I would have done. I can only imagine what it was like. I keep telling my parents it is okay. The last conversation I broke down and cried. I think that's what scared them. They don't ever see or hear me cry. So today I'm going to attend the convocational and the candlelight vigil. I feel so helpless. At this point, all we can do is pray. So you guys can turn the lights up a tiny bit more. I feel like I'm like very, it's okay. I'm like mellowing out all of a sudden. But anyway, so I want to know a couple questions, and there's obviously no wrong answers to things unless you say something really jerky and off the wall. Then we'll stop you. But otherwise, you might just flip something.
Does that not blind you?
Normal. No, you're fine.
Because they were making that noise and it was driving me crazy.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. And so, some questions for you guys. What was your first reaction when you guys heard about this?
I was in my English class.
First reaction, English class. Some of you guys were at school, I suppose, unless you were cutting. What do you got, Josh?
I was sick that day. I didn't find out.
You did not believe it.
I thought it was like a prank or something.
Thought it might have been a prank or something like that.
Josh, you were in my
I was in my research class, and
Hey guys, if someone's talking, just chill out so we can
I was in
listen
my
to you.
flex class, and the TV was on, and I kind of remember the news being on, but I don't remember if that was what was on. And then I remember I was in the weight room, and my teacher came over to me, and she was like, "Do you know anybody in Virginia Tech?" And I was like, "No." And she was like, "There's a shooting, 32 people died." And I was like, standing there with my mouth open, and my teacher was like almost crying and like shaking and stuff. And then she kind of walked me to ask other people, and I was just standing there still like in disbelief.
What else?
Miss Barrister.
You can unplug my laptop, by the way. Just unplug the back of it. Unplug that, 'cause that's what makes that weird noise.
My grandmother walked into the room. She's like, "Danny, have you heard what happened?" "No. There's been a shooting at Virginia Tech. Did you know anybody there?" "Yeah, I know 2 people there." It's like the body count at this time was 21. And she's like, "There's like 21 people that are dead and 17 wounded, and the body count keeps rising." It's like, so, and she came back every like 10 minutes telling me it rose again, and it was not.
Did anyone actually watch any these specials of they were interviewing students and stuff? Yeah. How many of you guys have watched that? Watched part of it? Okay, pretty much most of the people in this room. Okay, what do you think about some of these students? Well, there's a lot. So I mean, I say which one? I say, what do you think about these students? Whichever student pops in your mind. Because they obviously interviewed a lot of people during this time, and some of their questions were kind of weird. So ABC answered. Yeah, I think it's some kinds of sometimes they ask these weird random questions. It's like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. But besides, I'm not talking about people interviewing, but just the people they were interviewed, people that were